be like, nobody really watched it except the one guy who doesn't know about endurance racing, so here we are. And Tony, I don't know, man. He's going around the track, bro. I'm watching this. He's like, whoa. Dude, I even watched it. I even watched the ELMS race, bro. I'm fooling. That was a 4-hour race. I watched the whole thing. That's great.
Anyway, hey everyone, welcome to the Lap Zero podcast. This is lap 13. Can you believe it? My name's David. I'm joined by my co-hosts Antonio, Levi, and Norman King.
Barber week.
We knew you were going to say it.
There it is.
Well, we've had a couple weeks off. Going into some exciting stuff this weekend. We had Talladega, which was I guess a good hangover medication from some of the other races we've been talking about lately, but looking forward to some Formula One and some Indy Car this weekend. Anyway, it's Dega week. We can't wait any longer. We need to talk about some Talladega.
Talladega. All right, so
fastest oval on the planet.
Talladega. Dega was absolutely insane for a couple crazy wrecks. Overall, I guess let's just go through the race results quickly. So stage 1, we had your boy Chase Elliott after coming back off his injury. I know he was back at Martinsville, but he's also back at Dega. He had a good old stage win in stage 1. Eric Almirola took stage 2 with Chase Elliott up there again in second, which was pretty cool. And end of the race ended under yellow, unfortunately. Another super speedway race yet again ending under yellow. Funnily enough, Kyle Busch complaining about Bowman always backing in the wins, and then Kyle Busch backs into a win because the caution. As usual, my love for Ryan Blaney, I still was crying at the end of that race because Bubba decided to throw the nastiest triple block, did not pull it off.
That was bad.
I was crying. But I can't blame Bubba, whatever, man. I mean, it's the end of the race. Bad. You got to throw blocks like that if you want to win. So it is what it is. I mean, even Blaney said, he was like, man, you can throw 1, you can throw 2, but you can't throw 3. It's never going to work. So I'll just cry about it. It's all good.
That was tough.
Yeah, it was sad, bro. I'm not going to lie. As a Blaney fan, I swear the guy's like the king of the runner-up finish. It's actually depressing. No, overall, man, like it was a better race than most plate tracks. I know we've been, they're not plate tracks, but I'm going to keep calling them that because that's just what I'm used to. It was a good race again overall. I mean, we had 3 lanes for most of the race. Still the issue of the lane's not going to go anywhere unless you got a ton of guys behind you. You still can't pull out and make moves by yourself much. Overall, again, it was better than we've seen in the past where they just single file it out. So I was happy to say I don't think they actually went single file much at all except for maybe the first stage. Did they? Anyone else?
I mean, it's on and off, but not really.
No, not like usual. Not as bad as it has been, for sure.
Well, yeah, it was nice, to be completely honest with you. Nothing too insane happened throughout the race. The Xfinity race was amazing, like insane. There was so many wrecks. It was pretty tame the first stage or 2, and then I can't remember when that one guy, I can't remember his name, flipped 7 times. If you haven't gotten a chance to look at the replay,
that was horrible.
Definitely go look at that. That was insane. I was like, holy cow. Walked away fine. I think they went to the infield care center. I think he might have gone to the hospital to get checked out, but I think he ended up being all good. There was a crazy wreck in the Cup race with Prerace and Larson. So I can't remember what it all happened there. I think when Bubba threw that block, somehow Larson ended up getting turned into the infield. Tires ended up gripping up, so it ended up overcorrecting him back up in front of the field. Prerace was trying to gun it to make it through the wreck before he came up. End up mistiming it, easy error to make. It was a split-second decision. And he was pretty much full beans right into the passenger door of Larson's car and actually did compromise the roll cage, which was a pretty gnarly hit. Glad to say they're both good, but if you look at the in-car cam of Prerace, he got shaken up pretty hard. It almost hitting the friggin' steering wheel kind of hard, so.
That was a nightmare, man. He hit so hard his visor flew up on his helmet.
Yeah.
That's a hard hit, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy to look at visors and you look at it and it probably looks worse than it was, but I mean, it's not that uncommon for a visor to flip up during a wreck because usually they got it propped open a little bit. For anybody who races, you keep it propped open a hair so that it doesn't fog up or anything, even if it's sunny out and stuff. But yeah, no, he definitely, there's a lot more head movement than I would have liked to see there. I mean, Hans did his job.
Violent, man.
He didn't hit the steering wheel, so that's a good sign.
That was like a nightmare. That was the dashboard view of Prerace's car hitting Larson's car was like something out of a nightmare. It came out of nowhere. It was like,
yeah, it would be a hard wreck to recreate. It's not often you see someone going full beans, slam into the side of another car who comes up out of nowhere. But it's good. I did see NASCAR did take the car back to the R&D center. They also did get a hold of Prerace's car, as well as, I'm going to have to get his name from Xfinity. I apologize. I can't remember who it is, but the guy who flipped like 7 times, they also took his car to R&D. Happy to say all 3 of those guys walked away, which is awesome to hear. Other than that, I know, I guess that pretty much sums it up for the races. I didn't get a chance to see much of the truck. Oh, actually, truck didn't even run, did they? They didn't run Talladega,
no,
which is weird. I thought they normally would run all the plate tracks, but maybe it's a
ARCA ran with them.
Money savings thing. I didn't get a chance to watch ARCA, so if anybody knows anything, feel free to hop in and talk about it. But
yeah, my boy Frankie Muniz is a ARCA star, man. This guy leads the points. Did he win Dega? I know he did well. But yeah, if you didn't know, Malcolm in the middle, Frankie Muniz, is a race car driver and a successful one, man.
He's Malcolm at the front. That was a horrible one joke, sorry.
I've never thought of that joke, but it makes me wonder how many people have made that joke to that man. Hey, how you feel about being Malcolm at the front?
Oh, God. Malcolm in the front. Anyways.
I want to find his finishing position. Anyway, yeah, this guy, just as not as an actor, but as a race talent, is something to watch. He is officially the points leader after Talladega in the ARCA series. Frankie Muniz. That's killer, man. Good for him. He looks happy as hell, too. Like, he doesn't look like old Coley McCulkin, who's like from the same age, and now he looks like a walking cigarette. Like,
yeah, a walking cigarette.
Like Frankie Muniz, like he looks healthy, he looks happy, and it's cool. I was a big fan of him as a kid, so
yeah. Without getting too deep, I guess, into it, because I know we've touched NASCAR a lot recently, just because again it's on every week, so there's always lots to talk about. But I did want to bring up briefly. I don't know if most of you guys watched or listened to Denny Hamlin's podcast. If you don't, again, I do recommend listening to it. It's called Actions Detrimental. Hard word to say. So he was bringing up something about the talks with Goodyear, and I don't know if you guys know, but in previous years they would typically have numerous tire compounds to choose from throughout the year, because each surface is different depending on the track you go to. Like, you could go to something, and this is paraphrasing kind of what he said, but you could go to Richmond and you could go to Phoenix, and even though they're a similar style length track, the surfaces are entirely different and will drive entirely differently and wear a tire differently. So he was mentioning they have been working on getting a better tire compound. They did go harder this year and last year, just due to it being the first year of these cars, the second year of these cars now, and they wanted to take it a little easier, not have tire problems on top of what's already going to be car problems. So there is, chances for the future here to have tires that are going to start wearing more, because as we all know, the more the tires wear, the better the racing is, the more gap there is over the run, like from start to finish. The fall-offs going to increase, which again makes saving tires more important. It actually brings strategy into it of setting your car up for the short run, setting it up for the long run. So he said he left the conversation feeling really good about it, which is good, because that's not something he says very often, and that's not a shot at him. It's just, sometimes the talks don't go the way that you want them to, but as a driver, if he's happy about it, I thought that was some good news, and that might help potentially improve the racing, without having to give more horsepower. Not that that's what we want, but we know NASCAR's not really moving on that. So
I have not listened to Actions Detrimental lately, but the couple episodes I have listened to, I'm a fan of Denny as a personality. I wasn't really a fan of him until I started listening to his podcast, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was not early in his career, honestly. Couldn't stand the guy, but he's wearing on me. I think it's just because he's becoming one of the older guys now, So I don't know if I just got used to him or whatever. I don't think that'll ever happen with me and Logano, unfortunately.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
He's got those cute little kids and a nice hairline and a modest-looking wife. How can you not like the guy? Hairline.
We were all happy to see him go around in stage 3, let's put it that way.
I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, touch on that for a minute. So, was it lap 2 that McDowell went around? Was that a tire that went flat, or what was that about? He was like the first caution. 34 car?
He just likes throwing 360s, man. We learned that in Martinsville.
Yeah, he slapped 2.
Or Bristol.
I don't understand. But anyways, that was just kind of weird to me. I just kind of, I don't know why that clicked in the back of my mind.
I think it was some kind of issue. And circling back quickly to your comments on Denny, I'm on the fence about the guy. I think I like him a little bit better now because he's one of the only drivers who's really speaking up about stuff. So in that, I'll back him. I think his personality has gotten a bit better now. Does he do sometimes questionable stuff on the racetrack that could potentially make him seem hypocritical and stuff like that? Yeah, of course he does. But like, if I put it this way, I'm at the point with certain guys where I would like not even want to go talk to them if I saw them in public, even though they're a NASCAR driver. Denny is not at that phase. I would go see him. Someone like, and I don't know why, but someone like Kevin Harvick, I wouldn't even go look at. So,
wow, okay, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the guy. I've never have for some reason.
Okay.
Even okay. I would like to go see Logano though, because he's like just enough. He's just enough of a shithead that I actually like him. I don't know why. He's got that head personality.
I love him.
No, man, I'm just telling you, he's hilarious, man. Because he admits that like he's openly two-faced, which I mean you need to be as a race car driver. But no, he's hilarious, man. I freaking love the guy.
I love Joey Logano, dude. I do.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't get upset when I see him spinning backwards and in the middle of the pack at Talladega, but at the same time, it's not like I'm preying on his downfall or something like that. Like, if he does well, it's like, okay, cool, Penske's doing good. I support my other Penske homies. And if he dies and spins, die is a bad word to use, but if he spins in a race, something like that, I'm just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think.
How do you guys feel? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, just one of the guys I always see that I'm like, man, I could chill with him. I think that's Truex. I could chill with Truex.
He seems the most chill dude.
Bears.
Yeah.
Go fishing.
That peppered beard is just legit, dude. Got it going on.
Yeah.
Crack some Coors Light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Careful. What do y'all think about the Gragson-Chastain incident?
I think that was on Gragson. At first I looked at it and I was like, of course Chastain goes and shoves it in, but no, man, Gragson left the door open. I mean, you'd be stupid to not take the middle lane. If you move up with him, the guy behind you is just going to throw it in anyways. So what's the point? I think you're dumb for opening the door. That's my opinion.
Oh man,
yeah, you can't open the door. I mean, it's restricted player, whatever you call that. You know what I mean? Plate racing. Late racing.
Someone I know likes to say, race someone like you like to be raced, right, Norman?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I didn't like it. I thought it was a crappy move from Ross Chastain personally, but I honestly didn't go back and watch it because I was so blind with rage. So I like Noah Gragson. I'll say that too. I like all the people that are like, I don't know. I like the personalities, I'll be honest. Not because I'm a fanboy, but like guys like Gragson and guys like Logano, like, I don't know, they need that fire. I don't like guys like Ty Gibbs and like all of these, like, I'm a race car driver and my grandpa gave me some money and like I comb my hair perfectly and I drive normal. Like, I don't know. I don't like that. I want some hot-headed guys in NASCAR. We got enough of that in Formula 1 and Indy and stuff. Like, I want the guy like Noah Gragson with his hairy chest poking out, sweat dripping off after the race. Like, yeah, that's NASCAR, man.
I want someone like Josh Williams, man. That guy's awesome.
Oh, I'm telling you. See, like, that's a big fan.
Yeah. Where's that guy from, anyways? Like, what's his hometown?
Let me go look.
Josh Williams? Wilson? What was his name again?
I'm going to bet.
Already forgot.
The mullet says Florida.
Well, no. They got a few of those around here in Okie Town.
Or Charlotte, Florida.
Winter chicken dinner.
You can definitely Google it.
He just seems like a Florida man.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Dude, if he wouldn't have flicked the old mullet while he was walking to the pits, getting it all cleared out.
I'm working on mine right now. Hashtag grow for Josh.
Start a new movement. Oh, man.
He actually ran the Bristol Dirt Race in 2022. I don't know if you guys know that. I'd never seen that.
No.
I just was looking at his Wikipedia page.
That was pre-public mullet flick.
Yeah.
I did not know of the man.
I didn't know until he crawled out of that car and he crawled into my heart.
He did run. He ran the Roval too, which is funny. Well, that's just about covers it all pretty much for NASCAR. Do we want to maybe jump into, I know we got some Formula One we want to cover, and I know my man Levi's itching to talk about it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. F1 is back, finally. It has been a long time coming for the F1. We're back at Baku, Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 51 laps on Sunday. That'll make up the Grand Prix. A little technical. The track's over 6 kilometers long. Why does everybody always put that in there? Do we really need to know how long the circuit is? They're going to go really fast.
Are we sprint racing next week or no? Or this week?
We're going to get into that, dude. Let me tell you. So, yeah, get ready. Go ahead and take a seat.
Ready.
Put your seatbelts on, boys.
Ready.
So this is the first of 6 of the sprint weekends we're having this year. It just went live literally a couple hours ago. Norman, we were kind of chatting about it pre-recording, but it was on, off, nobody really knew, and it has just now kind of dropped that, as we're recording about 2 hours ago, that we will have the new sprint shootout format. I don't know if you guys have heard about this.
No.
I'm Googling it as we speak.
Well, I'm going to run you through it because I think it needs to be ran through. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to deal with me. So
I'm dealing with you.
Yeah, I know. It's the first time they'll ever have this kind of format. It's kind of crazy, weird. I don't really get it. Some of the racers don't get it. But anyways, here we go. So I'm going to read kind of a little stance on it. The new schedule will see Friday's qualifying sessions set for the grid for Sunday's race. So Friday's qualifying will be for Sunday's race. Saturday will now feature a standalone double of the sprint shootout to dictate the order for the shortened 100-kilometer race that follows. So I'm going to break it down day by day, and then we'll go into it more. But Friday, there's going to be a practice. It's the only practice of the weekend. 60 minutes. That's the only practice they get. After that, part for like they can't touch the cars, I guess, right? And then they will,
yes,
yeah, and then they will qualify for the Sunday Grand Prix on Friday, and then we'll move to Saturday. They're going to have a sprint shootout. It'll be split into 3 parts, each of them being shorter as they go. The final is 8 minutes long, and the last one will only have 10 cars in it, similar to Q1, Q2, Q3. And that will set the sprint race grid, but only the sprint race grid. But the standalone qualifying for the sprint race. Then later on, they will have the sprint race itself. With me so far?
Yes. And the sprint race finishing position has no implications for Sunday's race.
It has no implications, although the winner of it will have an 8 points for first place, and then it goes down 1 point. 1 through 8 is the only ones to get the points on that day.
So hold on, unless you wreck your car, then you're just like screwed.
Get a backup? I don't know.
Man, they're just trying to wreck cars, sounds like.
Yeah, that's
so hold on. I'm a hair confused. So wait, Friday we have just practice and that's it, you said, right?
No. Practice and qualifying for Sunday's race.
So we got practice and we're going to just call it Grand Prix qualifying. And then we go into Saturday and we have a sprint, like a sprint qualifying, but it's a legitimate other qualifying for the sprint race?
Yes, you have your own qualifier for the sprint race, all done on Saturday.
And then is the sprint race that day too?
Shootout?
Yes.
Wait, so explain the shootout thing again.
So the shootout's just
the shootouts are races?
No, it's qualifying sessions pretty much.
It's Q1, 2, and 3.
SQ1, SQ2, and SQ3 because they got to make it cute, because it's F1.
Oh, okay.
But they're going to be shortened. You know what I mean? And each getting shorter as they go. So
you get 2 laps.
Pretty much the last one is going to be an 8-minute long deal where everybody, 10 cars, 8 minutes. That's not very much time for you to get a clean.
Yeah, that's
I almost kind of like that, though. That's a shootout and a half. They're not kidding. I almost like that better, man. Sometimes I'll be watching qualifying, and it's just like all they do is they make 2 runs, and no matter how long the gap in the middle is, you're just sitting there waiting for the next run anyways. That's all it is.
But 8 out of 20 are the only ones going to get points. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing all this for 8 guys to get points, with the 8th place guy getting 1 point, and everybody else doesn't get nothing for doing all this. And it has, I like that. Okay, so what they've done is they've done this to change the, you qualify really didn't mean anything because the sprint race is what set the grid, right? So they tried to change that, because I was kind of griping about it, because numerous times now we've had guys get into the sprint race with a penalty, and if they're like Max, they just run to the front anyways. So the penalty was really, in qualifying, really didn't mean nothing. So they could be a douche in qualifying because they know they're going to run to the front anyways. So I agree with trying to fix that, and I think that's part of it. The other part of it is with giving points and it not having any bearing on Sunday. Sky Sports, a couple of the other people have said that F1 has said that this may make them get a little more dicey, maybe get a little, but I just don't know if they will, because I think you're still racing for Sunday.
Yeah, man, totally. You have to finish the sprint race if you're going to have any chance on Sunday.
We can't bust the car up either. So they're still going to wait, hold on. So I'm a tad confused.
See the problem. Yeah. So I don't know about what you're trying to say. I think is, if you wreck your car, what do you do for Sunday because you're part permit? Do you go to the back? So it can have bearings on Sunday, technically.
Yeah, or if you just wreck your car.
But the race and the qualifying itself has no bearing whatsoever. Yeah, do they?
That's good, though. I like that better, too, Levi. I like that better, too. I did not like the fact that sprint winner decided the pole position for Sunday, and we threw who could run the fastest lap on low fuel out of the window, because that's traditionally forever how we decide who starts the race on Sunday. Because to win a race, you have to have both skills, right? Like, you have to be very quick by yourself, and you have to be able to retain that lead. And I thought the sprint race kind of took that away, because you could have some stupid crash in the front, and then, Joe Schmo starts on pole, and then Max wins anyway. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like it better, but that's
why I wanted to kind of
it's a lot.
That's why I wanted to kind of chop it up and block it off, because it is a lot. It's something new. We haven't seen this. Sprint format was kind of pretty self-explanatory, right? You're going to qualify, and then we're going to race, and whatever the race finishes, you do Sunday. This is a little different. We'll have to see how it comes out. I mean, I think we all know who's probably going to be at the front still, but yeah.
It's odd to me that they didn't just take the format that they use in F2 and F3 and just regurgitate it. Like, it works perfectly fine. Like, I don't know if you guys watch F2 and 3 races, but the format I thought's awesome. They basically do, you're qualifying, they'll do a sprint race, but for the so basically quality will set the grid for your Sunday feature race, and then your sprint race will be determined by that grid from qualifying, and they'll usually do an invert. So say top 12 get inverted or something like that, because then it'll make it interesting. Like, imagine Max qualifies on pole, and then you start him 12 for the sprint. Well, now he's got to work his way up through the field if he wants to get more points, kind of thing, right? So I feel like you keep that, like, entertainment side of things while still keeping it competitive and actually still getting points and not ruining Sunday unless you wreck, kind of thing. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know. I think I'm with you, though, Antonio. I don't know if it'll produce more aggressive racing on Saturday. I think the points are great, but, like, yeah, or I guess I'm with you too, Levi, because, yeah, like, we're racing for Sunday still, right?
Yeah. What does Norman think about it?
I want to take another side of this, another thought. And it's not going to be like this for the rest of these sprint weekends that we're going to have. But for this one, something that I think a lot of people aren't thinking about is we have one practice. We also have a lot of teams bringing upgrades to this race. You get 90 minutes to test out your upgrades, and then you're thrown straight into qualifying again, and then 2 races.
Yes.
Qualifying for Sunday.
Well, and one more. Friday is only a 60-minute practice, so cut 30 of that up.
It's not even 90 minutes, 60 minutes.
No, sir.
You get 60 minutes to try to get your driver and everyone used to whatever upgrade you're bringing.
Yeah.
And if you get it wrong, you get it wrong for the whole week, for every qualifying and race that weekend.
I don't really like the Parc Fermé stuff, man. I hate that you're locked. Like, I get it. You don't Like, is it just for after qualifying normally? Is that how it works, Parc Ferme?
Yes.
Yeah.
After qualifying runs, Parc Ferme is set. This is.
I feel like you should be able to change it after the first race if we're doing especially if you're taking out a practice. Like, what you're just saying? Okay, my setup's junk. I guess we're screwed the whole weekend. Like, no, am I wrong?
No, I'm with you. I mean, I guess if I'm a sucky team, I want to keep it. Because I feel like it'll level the playing field a little bit. Like, you can rely on being good and having better engineers. Like, if you're Williams or whatever, you can invest in engineers and rely on nailing it better than other teams will. But no, it seems a little off.
No, I think how I always thought they should have done the sprint races is Friday should have been free practice 1 and free practice 2. Give them their 2 practices without Parc Ferme. Then qualify Saturday morning and run the sprint Saturday afternoon. Then you have your race Sunday. So then Parc Ferme doesn't happen after practice 1.
So just verifying, Sky Sports anyways is reporting that they will be in Parc Ferme as soon as that 60-minute practice Friday is over.
Wow.
Oh, I thought it was like once qualifying starts.
I don't think so.
Wow.
The way I read it was, and I don't want to lie to you, that's not what we're into here. So
Lie to me.
But yeah, no, they verified it. It was kind of what do you call it? Kind of a push out of this deal. I think they already had it set up, waiting for it to go. Teams and drivers will now have just Friday's opening 60-minute practice session to work out their car setups for the remainder of the weekend.
Whoa.
I think that's what that would mean.
That's going to be interesting. Who's bringing upgrades? Do we know?
So the one I do know, of course, everybody's bringing a little bit because they've had such a long break. There is some, but Mercedes is the one that I like. I'm not a big Mercedes fan, but I do want to touch on that. Before I do, one thing they are going to change about this qualifying sessions, they can use whatever tires they have available for the first one for Sunday's race, which is fine. But for the shootout, they'll have mandatory new sets for every qualifying session. SQ1 will have a new set, SQ2 will have a new set, SQ3 will have a new set. The first 2 will be on mediums. The last one with 10 cars will be on the reds, the softs. Not a big deal. I guess that means that those tires that are given to them for the shootout qualies will not go into their tire counts, is the way I'm taking that. I haven't seen that posted anywhere. But anyways, just throwing that out there. But to the upgrades, go ahead. Sorry.
What's interesting about that, Levi, and we'll see once we get into the weekend, is are those medium tires faster on lap 2 or 3 in the run than they are on lap 1? Like, take a little bit longer to get up to temp and get that grip in. Are people going to try to go out and try to run multiple laps and not just one lap, and then spacing on that track? Because you get stuck behind a car trying to warm up a tire in the castle section, you ruined your whole speed lap.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to ruin a speed lap on this track, honestly, compared to some of the other ones. But yeah,
it looks like Ferrari's bringing an upgraded diffuser to Baku, and then Alpine is, according to these articles I'm reading, Alpine's going kind of all in with their Baku upgrades. They're really expecting to close the gap with upgrades coming in Baku. So if you're a betting person out there, Alpine in the top 10 might be a decent bet if you believe in their technical crew.
If they can stay away from each other.
Yeah. Well, it's good. We're seeing a lot of upgrades. I mean, this always happens. I think we see the grid level out, and I sincerely hope we see McLaren step up a little bit.
I don't. Okay. They got rid of my boy Ricardo. I don't care.
They're downplaying their Baku upgrades, according to motorsport.com. They're saying that it's not going to make a huge difference. But I like Lando Norris, and I secretly kind of hope that, and I like Zach Brown. I like all the McLaren and what they're doing in Indy Car, and I like that whole universe. So I hope we see them succeed a little more. I think we see Ferrari get faster. We have to, right?
Well, I think for F1 and McLaren, I don't think that they have much money to play with, honestly. I think there's something going on that we're not seeing. It seems like they're getting outplayed money-wise here. It's like they keep saying they're downgrading their upgrades. Well, it's because they're not doing much compared to the other teams. But
it's because they got bought out by that Middle Eastern firm or whatever.
Yeah, Mercedes is making some big changes. They actually got James Allison back as technical director, which was which was the godfather of the W11, which was, kind of a big car back in the day. It kind of did some good. Anyways, they got him back. They feel real good about that. And they're also bringing upgrades, supposedly that will, in quotes, synergize with the upcoming bigger changes at Imola. The biggest changes this weekend will be the rear suspension, hats, rear end damper, shock springs, whatever you want to call that. Just the rear end's going to be reworked. And they're rumored to have a new wing. Now, if you know F1, they can have a new wing, and I can't tell the damn difference. Okay? Look at this brand new wing, and it's like, where? What? Well, if you look
I'm so glad you said that, because as an F1 fan, I try not to say that. Oh yeah, the cars look so different, but no,
they don't.
They don't.
It's but okay, so you know what I mean. So that's a rumor too, so I don't even know if that's true. But the big talking point for me is kind of like the team points is just blowing my mind right now, because I think we all know the Ferraris got a chance to do pretty good, but they just having their issues. They're fourth in points behind Red Bull, Aston Martin, and Mercedes. I think it would have changed. Sainz did file an appeal for the last race, but as fast as it was filed and heard, it was denied. So didn't win anyways. Unfortunately, they did have a double DNF here last year, so only up from here, boys. If you're a Ferrari
I was gonna say we got nothing to lose at this point. Yeah, not to hop on the Ferrari train and defend the topic and be biased or something. I was it was a little strange that they didn't go into that penalty more, because I do think regardless of who got that penalty, it did seem pretty harsh for the circumstance. I feel like there should be a better alternative to something like that, because I feel like you shouldn't get penalized more or less versus a safety car coming out and a safety car not coming out, because that's a huge penalty. I mean, you could go from first to 10th or something depending on how it goes, kind of thing, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. I did think it's worth looking into. I get it, they don't have to change it this year, but even at the end of the season, it'd be worth looking into something better for that circumstance, because it's definitely going to happen again at some point.
Yeah, and I'm a middle of the road Ferrari guy, but I don't think that was so open shut Sainz's fault there. I mean, maybe I didn't see it right, but I tried to watch all the ones they give us, and I went back and forth, but I tried to see where it was just open shut his fault, and I was about like him. I mean, I was I was at my own home in my on my couch like he was in the car. I'm like, no. They need to go back and look at that again. But
how many times have we seen that call a racing incident?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
Tap
was
on
one
cold
of those
tire
ones.
start.
That was one of those ones that go either way. It's hard to say, but yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Me personally, I would have probably thought that was a racing incident, and that's not being biased. I just felt like from his point of view, especially if you watch his onboard, it almost looks more like Alonso came and just cut across his nose. Now, obviously, you could see the trajectory of going through the corner he took. He just wasn't possible. I don't think it was physically possible for him to go outside more and cut in, which would have not made him wash out as much. But it was one of those things, you're fighting for the same real estate, and it's cold tires, and it's right after a red flag. So, or whatever we had, I can't even remember at this point.
Yeah, that was a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a month ago, because we got a really good schedule here for. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, right.
But yeah, no, it's one of those ones I guess that could have gone either way, and I'm not really upset that it goes either way. If he just got the penalty like normal, but because of that circumstance, I do think it's something they should visit at the end of the season and be like, hey, we should probably think of some better alternative, even if it's a grid drop next race, because that was pretty harsh.
Yeah,
it was silly.
Yeah. And one more note on, I think Dave was saying Alpine's bringing some big changes. Looks like they maybe hopefully getting in the mix with the other other top cars is I guess what I'll call them at this point. Non-Red Bull top cars. But
they've been honestly sorry this season so far.
Yeah, but the problem is Pierre Gasly has 2 points left before he's got to set a race, boys. So we got to keep that in mind. He's got to be careful. Yeah, I know. He's got to be careful, which is, it's been a while, I think, since we've actually seen that. I wish I would have looked that up to see when the last time somebody actually had to set 4 penalties. But,
all right, we're going to do in it, bin it, or win it for Formula One, but we're changing it up a little bit. We're going to do a point scoring system. We're going to keep score throughout the year. Yes, I'm going to go back and tabulate previous episodes. And so if you guys want to chime in, but this is how it's going to work. So Red Bull, we've all kind of agreed is going to Red Bull. Red Bull's going to Red Bull. So win it now excludes Red Bull drivers.
Okay.
It is, how surprising. The win it will now be whoever scores the highest other than Red Bull. Okay? In it is going to be anyone who scores points in the top 10. We cannot choose the same win it or in it driver amongst the 4 of us. Bin it will be a DNF. We can choose the same Bennett driver. If we all feel like, why does Yuki come to mind immediately?
Every time.
Right? It's like immediate. It's like
Yuki
Bennett.
Tsunoda.
Yuki. Like, all right. So if we all choose Yuki, that's totally fine.
And we'll all get the points.
So if you pick the win it driver, you get a point. If you pick an in it driver, you get a point. If you pick the DNF or Bennett driver, you get a point. We're going to keep score till the end of the season. If you guys want to keep score at home with yourself, keep score at home. But thought we'd spice up in it, Bennett, or win it a little bit. So Antonio, you being the A in the family, no pun intended. How about you start us off with some in it, Bennett, or win it Formula One style for Azerbaijan?
All right. I guess I'm doing it. So which order do we want to go? Do we want to start with bin and go up to win, or start with win and go down to bin?
That's up to you, bud.
I think this is your world, buddy. This is America, at least where we live.
Yep.
So
let's start with some Bennett action. You know what, man? I think we're on a good wave here with Leclerc. So I'm gonna pick him to Bennett. I'm not gonna lie. I've lost all faith. I don't think it's his fault, but the dude has about the worst luck on the grid. So I think it's a fair way to get some points for me. So I'm gonna pick Leclerc as my Bennett. For in it, I'm gonna pick. Who's gonna be in it? Let me think here.
Points.
Just to the points,
It's just points. It's just points. All right, I'm gonna think Mr. Carlos Sainz is gonna come back with a vengeance. So he's gonna be in it. And you know what? I'm gonna take a complete gamble, and I'm gonna say Mercedes upgrades go really well. And I think our boy George has been clapping Ham Jam's cheeks the whole time. So I'm gonna go with George Russell to be my winning option. And by winning, I mean he's gonna finish third. So
you still somehow pick 2 Ferraris, but none of them to win it.
No, it's gonna be a trend. It's gonna be a trend.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess.
Dave.
I guess I'll go next. Bennett. I can pick a Red Bull driver to Bennett, and I'm going to pick Sergio Perez to Bennett.
Oh.
Yep. I don't know. I think guy's got it. He's got so much to prove this season, and going into this race, I think we might see him make some questionable moves. I don't know. I just feel like there's a higher probability of Perez to put it in the wall than other drivers this race, personally. In it, I'm going to go with an Alpine. I'm going to say Pierre Gasly in it. I think we see him finish hopefully about 7 or 8 in the race with their upgrades. I've always loved old Pierre. I think he's going to do well. And then win it, I'm going to take the opposite of Mr. Antonio. I think this is Charles Leclerc's redemption at Baku. I think we see him do really well. Can I get an extra point if I call position? I think we see Leclerc in second.
No,
in this race.
but I appreciate that.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, yeah.
All right. I guess I'm up. Let's see. Bennett, I'm riding that Yuki train all the way home, baby. He's gone a Bennett one of these days. Let's go Sonoda. Wreck that bad boy. Make it good too. I want to see some
Come on.
white carbon fiber flying everywhere. In it, a little more tricky. I mean, it's top 10, but I want to make it a good one, Yeah, probably Stroll. I'm gonna do an Aston Martin 1-2 on my little pick because it's Stroll, and then to win it is Mr. Alonso, who just seems as spry as he was when he was younger for an old fellow.
God, I love that guy.
Good
man.
hair, right?
Good hair. More hair than I remember.
I'm telling you,
It's funny how that works, right? With great race car drivers,
something about being
how
a
they
helmet.
get more hair over time and not less.
Yeah. I mean, mine's going away. I'm only 40. He's just killing it. Anyways, Norman, you're up, bud.
Well, I guess I got to follow Antonio on the Bennett because he was going to be my pick anyway. So I'm going Leclerc to Bennett. He doesn't have any luck at this track, so I got to stick with him to go out.
I forgot about the castle section incident. That's true.
I am stupid.
I am stupid.
Let's see here. My in it, I'm gonna go with Bottas. Grab me some points, but not be like too obvious.
Yep.
And then my win it, I'm gonna go opposite of Antonio. I think they do bring upgrades, and I think they're there, but I think Hamilton gets it done.
Get it done.
Man, y'all
Ham
have,
jam.
Yeah, y'all have lined your points up on the old Mercedes train. We will see.
Man, the points, at least the points for this game, are going to be violently different going into next week. Love to see
Well,
it.
you got to remember, I was the last one to go. I didn't have much to choose from.
There's plenty.
Oh,
of
you've had a lot to
out
choose
there.
from.
Come on now.
And you took I shot the low-lying route, stayed around as long as it did, Levi.
Yeah, I know. The bad thing is Antonio's going to be dead last next week, so we'll
All
see
right,
how that
so,
goes.
how about this?
All right,
Starting
now.
this week, low point scorer gets to go first next week.
Oh.
I was just going to say we just rotate who goes first. So, like, now we just go down to Dave starts next week, then Levi, then Norman.
Fine with that, too. If you have any suggestions, hit us up on Discord.
Put your Bennett in it and win it in the Discord. Let us know.
You know what?
I know it's a little late for this, but I was thinking that if you pick a Red Bull to Bennett, you get double points.
I would like that.
Yeah, of course you would.
What is this?
No,
Yeah, of course
no
you
extra
would,
points.
Dave.
No
we
extra
talked before the episode.
No,
We're best friends.
Screw them bonus points.
You guys stay out of this.
Yeah.
Good job, Norman.
How about
Keep
bonus?
it straight, boys.
How about
Wow.
bonus point if your in-it driver gets fastest lap?
Oh, we may have to talk about that one.
That one would be
That's
that
a
would be
fun
really
one.
hard to get. That would be
That's
really hard
fun.
to get.
Do it.
That's
Why not?
fun.
And
Do
even
it.
more,
Yeah.
even more points if the Bennett guy gets it. If the Bennett guy
You know
gets
what?
it, you get 5 points.
No. I'm in it. If your in it driver gets fastest lap, I'm in for a bonus
Yep,
point.
I'm down
That's
with that.
tight.
Who gets
And
who gets
Antonio,
0
we
X?
might have a chance for our Bennett to actually get fastest lap this week.
This is true. What if
Yeah.
it's gotta be
like with 2 laps
all
to
right,
go.
you get a bonus point if they get 0x this week too.
Hey, if y'all,
Yeah, right.
Hey, anybody listening, if you've got any, better ways to score and what you might want to see, let us know. Let us know. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Can't wait.
I love this Grand Prix. It's going to be fun to watch no matter what. We're definitely going to see carbon fiber flying in the air.
Yeah.
Every year at Baku, we see carbon fiber.
Actually,
flying
did
in
you
the air.
know this is the least, I don't know what word to use. Out of all the street courses, this one has less wrecks on it.
I believe that because 80% of it is a rectangle.
Yeah.
But,
And when they wreck,
I mean, but when they wreck, though, oof.
Actually, they don't wreck that bad because the major wrecks in the past year that have happened were Schumacher at Saudi Arabia, car ripped in half. Schumacher at Monaco, car ripped in half.
Well, I don't know how to respond to that, but I hope that I hope that everyone goes home safe, like we said last week, this weekend. But Baku is going to be lit, I think.
or show. Guess that moves us into Indy and Barber this weekend.
More open wheels.
Yes, more open wheels.
We love to see it.
Norman, you got the old lockdown on all info on that deal. In fact,
how's your backyard, Norman?
Yeah, I think you're going.
Yes, like we always talk, Barber is in my backyard. Literally, the past few weeks, they've been running testing for this, not the big guys, but the smaller series have been testing out there every weekend. So I cook breakfast to race cars every morning.
That's not a bad look.
Man, no. Life is hard.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, this is going to be the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix this year, which is a little close to my heart. My family is big into the Racing for Children's organization that works directly with the Children of Alabama hospital here in Birmingham. So it's going to be a really big weekend for us. If you're interested in it, I would suggest you to go check out Racing for Children's. They do a lot with the children's organization with cancer and blood disorders. So they'll and every year they run 2 cars in the IMSA Porsche Cup, which unfortunately for the second year we will not see at Barber's this year.
It's unfortunate.
But the organization is big enough and is done enough that last year Isla actually put handprints on his car and put the Racing for Children's logo on the car and ran for them last year at the track. But with back to the Porsche Cup, they will do honorary crew chiefs. So they have 2 cars that run, and they actually take the children to the tracks with the cars, and each car has 2 honorary crew chiefs. And the child will spend the whole weekend with the drivers and the cars. Their last race they were just at was Long Beach, which one of their cars did win Long Beach. So it's a very cool organization. I hope to have more coming through the podcast after this weekend with it, with a couple of interviews with some of the people inside the organization to help get better information out to the public. But to get on with the racing, we will have the Big Dog Indy Car series out here this weekend. It is a very enjoyable race to go to. Normally the racing can get very boring around the track because the track is a very technical track and it's not like most of the tracks you see where they can get the draft and use it. They don't have a long straightaway. It's only a 2.3 mile track and they're doing it in almost under a minute a lap. So not a lot of time to pass there. But coming with them, we're going to have the USF Juniors coming here. We're going to have the Porsche Sprint Challenge of North America Cayman and GT3 Cups will be here with them.
That's sweet.
The Radical Cup will be here. And then the Indy NXT Series will be here for, which is what everyone knows is the Indy Lights Series. Or used to be known as the Indy Lights.
That's all going on this weekend?
Yes.
And so the Radical Series is the SR10s, right?
Yes.
Oh, man. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of racing for a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, so it starts literally, gates open at 8 a.m., and you'll come to the track, and you'll actually be walking into the very end of the USF Juniors qualifying, number 2, on Friday morning.
Wow.
Stuff will start Thursday, but the gates will not be open till Friday. So, yes, that will all be going on this weekend. And we'll all finish up at 2 p.m. with the IndyCar series on Sunday. So I'm very excited. I am taking work off Friday so I can be at the track all day Friday. That's my favorite time to do the walk around. I'll be walking through the paddock trying to grab interviews with drivers and stuff, so we might have some good, hopefully we'll get some interviews and have some live feed from, not live, but interviews from some Indy Car drivers and maybe some Indy Lights drivers too, to go along with our Racing for Children's interviews. So I would suggest y'all tune in on Sunday to watch the race. And if you have Peacock, I think you'll get the Indy Lights Series race also.
Yeah, that is a lot of racing, like Dave was saying.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
That's a full weekend.
When
man.
I went down to Austin for the F1 race, they didn't have that many series. They had the Ferrari, some kind of Ferrari Cup, and then they had the Porsche Cup that was with them. That was it.
I might be misspeaking, but I don't think I am. I think in the past, this is probably one of the lightest schedule I've seen for Barber.
Wow. That's impressive that they can host all that, honestly.
Because they normally
That's
have
cool.
the Indy Pros out there with them. And then the MX Cup used to come, and the IMSA Porsche Cup used to come. So, but
yeah.
That's awesome, man.
it's fun. It's a great race. It's a great weekend. I would suggest anyone in the area. I know they're close to selling out. I would get your tickets now. Come on. You can't go wrong. I think we are supposed to have a lot of weather this weekend too, which could make things interesting, unfortunately. But it still sounds like with the weather that they're going to sell out this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they do. With that many, I mean, how could, if you're anywhere...
Norman, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
Really?
If you're anywhere in that area, though, I mean, why would you not go?
No, and
That's a lot of different levels of racing.
And
That's
the
cool.
facility is gorgeous, and they have so much to do in the fan zone. Friday, if you just get a ticket for Friday, you get a paddock pass for free.
That's so crazy.
The whole paddock's open to the public Friday. Saturday and Sunday, you have to pay for them. I really don't go over there Sunday just because it's hard. I will say this: last year, I don't know if I'll be this lucky that I was, but for one of the Indy practices, I was in the paddock when the Racing for Children's organization was passing by to go watch practice from pit lane behind Islet's pit box, and I got called to go with them and got to go watch them do pit practice during their practice session.
That's so cool, man. And I'm so happy that organization is so active.
Oh,
It's
great. You would have thought I was one of the kids out there, but no, it's more about the kids.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. And so Callum Ilott is the...
I don't know if Ilott is going to be running a Racing for Children scheme this year. He did last year for this race. I'll post in our Discord channel once I find out more information. I try not to bother the organization too much with questions because I don't want they're really busy this time of year. So I'll let you know if there's anyone out there running a scheme or anything, and I'll be posting pictures and video all weekend in the Discord channel also.
Yeah, go check them out. Good group of people. Norman's talked about on the backside. He's talked to us a lot about what they're doing, what they're about and stuff. I know we've ran their little sponsorship tags on our iRacing cars and stuff like that, which is cool. But in the real world, they're doing things.
Yeah, they actually sponsored our whole iRacing IndyCar series.
Yep.
Which is really cool. So, yeah, please check it out. And I hope everyone enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. Lap 13. Is it unlucky 13 or lucky 13?
I guess we're going to find
It's
out.
lucky.
I think it's going to be lucky. I think our unlucky one was 12.
Well, unlucky 12. I always liked 13. I always thought it was lucky 13. Who's 13 in NASCAR now?
I don't know.
I know it's unlucky. I know it's unlucky 12. We know that for sure.
Used to be a Geico 13.
All right, now. Come on.
It was in the Geico 13 car.
Chandler Smith.
Chandler Smith in the 013. Who's in the 31? Because it's got the same font as my 31 in Camping Universe trucks used to be. Thought that was hilarious.
Oh, that's why he sucks just as much.
How many questions?
Yeah, all right.
Justin
Got
Haley.
inspired. Yeah,
It's from the Ferrari digs.
Man, you got to wear a vest around here.
Justin Haley, the number 31 car.
Oh, actually, before we finally leave, I just want to touch. If you guys get the chance, I just want to say this because I'm from Canada and the coverage here is garbage. If you like endurance racing, IMSA posts and ELMS, so if you don't know what that is, the European Le Mans Series, but ELMS and IMSA both post full race replays on their YouTube, and it is the most amazing thing ever. So if you love that stuff, please go there. It's amazing. Totally awesome because I don't get to watch it on TV. So them uploading it there is awesome. I hope everyone hops on board with that. Indy Car, NASCAR, F1. F1's accessible, but you get what I mean. If everybody did that, it'd be awesome. But definitely check it out if you love racing and you just want to throw it on the side, or even if you don't follow it like I do. I don't really follow it, so it's nice. You can just pick it up whenever and watch something. So recommend doing that if you haven't checked it out.
Don't forget, if you're out there looking for different things, we're on YouTube now. Look us up, Lap Zero Podcast. Give us a like, subscribe, and all those good things. Comment there. Join us. We've been talking about it all episode. Discord. We can't say enough. It's a good community of people we're putting together. So come find us in the Discord. It's good things.
Yeah, and of course, as always, check out LeagueZero.net if you want to race with us on track. Also check out our buddies at Team Goon Squad. That's teamgoonsquad.com, or their YouTube channel. That was our friend James East from a couple episodes ago. We would love to see you in our Discord. Like we've been saying, we need more people. We want to create some discussion. I feel like we could push these episodes in a certain direction with y'all's help. So please chime in. And yeah, we'd love to see you out on track, especially in iRacing. Come join us. I think if we had enough interest, we would do some League Zero / Lap Zero or just Lap Zero races where we could all get together and run Dega or do something fun. So we would love to see you there.
Yeah, because I've never seen Dave on an oval, and I would love to push the shit out of him and watch him start screaming out loud.
If it's Dega or Daytona where I just push the gas and turn the wheel, it's pretty good. But as soon as I have to hit the brake in those stock cars, I'm trash, man.
I want to see Dave on a figure 8.
Hey, I've never ran the figure 8 not one time.
Oh,
we
man,
gotta bring
that's
back
fun.
Hey, okay, we could do the fog bowl too. Y'all remember the fog bowl?
Oh, the fog
Yeah,
bowl.
it was a
Oh,
blast.
man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more on the upcoming
crap.
episode. Yeah.
Hey, definitely when the rain comes out, I bet you we can really get a good fog bowl.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm down. I'll do whatever.
Let's do it like Lime Rock or something too.
It's horrible.